Hey, hello again, everyone. This is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. How's everybody doing today? I thought today I'd just do a random let's have a cup of coffee together chat. So if you don't have your cup of coffee with you now, why don't you go grab one? Because I'll be speaking with you for a few minutes. Hope that this video finds everybody doing well, and I'll be right back in a minute. So nice to see everybody today. I know you may not believe this, but I'm actually recording this at what time? Checking my cable clock. 3:45 a.m. New York City time. What? No, I get up early, but I also go to bed early. Sometimes I fall asleep with my phone on, and my friends think, oh my goodness, she's up all night. Not true. My phone light is on, but I am not up. So what's going on, everyone? As always, I hope that this video finds you doing well. This is actually going to be sip 3, so you're going to get to see me do sip 3. I did 1 and 2. I had to survive, to get on this thing. Wow. So much has happened this year to everyone. I would just have to say the word everyone. This has definitely been a year of change, be it abrupt change, for many extremely negative impacts. I think that what I'm trying to say is that we maybe need to consider a few things about when shocking things happen. I've had a multitude of major life-altering situations personally have happened in terms of certain losses, and to say that that has been an easy thing would be not true. It's been a challenge. But I came to the conclusion that in life, you don't get over things. You get through things. Have you ever had a conversation with anyone and they say, my goodness, I don't know how such and such, or we, or myself, or whomever, have ever gotten through that thing. And it is so true. You don't get over things, you get through things. Now, Sunday is Mother's Day, and it is the first Mother's Day without my mom here. And I could walk around and feel sorry for myself and sad, and I'm going to feel the grieving feelings because I am, after all, in grief. But I also would choose to focus on the fact that I've had my mother here till I was 61. I mean, that is pretty much amazing. I do not take that for granted because I know of a lot of people who, were not as fortunate to have had that extra time. So instead of focusing on, oh, gee, my mom's not here, sure. Am I going to miss her a little extra in a special way on Mother's Day? Of course. And while I'm here, may I salute all moms and wishing everyone a very happy Mother's Day. And if you still have your mom, I know you've probably heard this from others who do not. I'm joining the ranks of those. Please appreciate them even extra, because you just don't know 1 year from the next, and it's only the right thing to do to appreciate these precious, precious gifts that have been given to us. Because at a moment's notice, I don't have to tell you, with this crazy year that all of us are experiencing, you just don't know. But I'll be right back, and we'll talk about some money-saving ideas that come off the top of my head. I need more coffee first. Hello again, everyone. It is so nice to share more coffee with my friends. Thanks, everybody, for being here, for being such loyal subscribers, and welcome brand new viewers. And thank you, Money Mom, and thank you, Rhoda Stone, and thank you, Life from Patty, for your wonderful references to this channel. For the brand new ones that never heard of those names, look them up. Head on over to their channels. Really, really good stuff. And thank you, Ellen. And you know what? The channel has changed a little bit. And I'm excited about that because I want to open it up a little more expansion to not only just see my face, but to see other people's faces sometimes on my videos. And, and it's growing in a positive way. Let's talk about some money saving ideas. This year, again, has been incredibly different. And because of some changes, there is actually, I wouldn't call it a meat shortage. I would call it a meat limitation right now. And is it going to be forever? No, it's not going to be forever. But in the time being, you know what? In fact, I'm going to throw this question to you guys. What do you do when you are running low on meat to stretch the old budget that week? What do you do when you do not have access to meat? Not your fault. And you're working with a limited amount of meat. Tough question. Not for you guys. It's not a tough question. You guys know so much. I really appreciate your answer. However, I have a couple of tips for anybody who just can't come up with one at maybe 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, okay, basically it's this. We focus so much, sometimes emphasis on the meat aspect of shopping. And because, some people are huge meat eaters, okay, but sometimes you just have to cut back. There you go. What you do is you think of your plate sort of like a pizza, except this pizza is not going to have a lot of meatza on it. Okay, so what you do is you focus on increasing your starch, increasing your vegetables, and making the meat not the star of the show. Okay? Now, you can work wonders with ground beef, ground turkey, ground pork, ground veal, ground chicken. If you can grind it up, and it's something you normally eat, like the aforementioned, that you can stretch. You can make so many things. The sky is the limit, and you just have to figure it out for yourself, okay? The other day, Steve, my contributing food person, every single nice guy, know him a long time, by the way. We're not strangers, we're friends, good friends, and proud to have him included on my Tuesday's recipe show. And hopefully one day in the not so distant future, you will see him on his own YouTube channel. Wow, wow, wow. So, like we talked a lot about what to do, with meat and all that stuff. And there just are so many options. But the thing is, you have to be the person to keep your mind open, okay? Keep your mind open. But let's talk about specific money-saving ideas. And when it's that extra challenge, finding what you need. One, doesn't have to be meat. What you're really looking for is protein, because it has been medically proven, and I'm not a doctor and I'm not an expert, but I read this a number of times, that the only thing that really shuts down your appetite is protein. So work with a cheaper protein that's accessible. I didn't hear that we have an egg shortage, right? There are 1,000 gazillion things you can do with eggs. So work with eggs, for example. I discovered the other day the joy of boneless chicken thighs, okay? I just went berserk with this by dredging it in the mayonnaise and then dredging it into Italian breadcrumbs. And even though the second time around that I wanted it, I didn't have them. Then I ran over to stovetop, and then I ground up. When there's a will, there's a way. So that's another thing with stretching the budget. You have to be flexible. And thank you, Passive Income Tom, who has a very lovely channel, for reminding me of that a few weeks ago. He says, during these times, we have to be flexible. That is the best word I ever heard, especially for right now. So, and this past week we talked about kitchen swap outs, and trying to think of an amazing swap out that I have used, but my brain is not 100% functioning yet. We'll talk about some more random stuff in the kitchen when I get back. Hey, thank you so much for sticking around. I really do appreciate your time, especially sticking around this long. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're talking about things that we can do and working with what we have and saving a bit too. You can do it. Macaroni and cheese. I mean, that's a great source of protein. Cheese, there you go, in and of itself. You could even make your own cheese, like I was last week adventurous. I turned ricotta into mozzarella. Don't ask, but it was a lot of fun. There are things that you can do. The yogurt thing, I'm positive I'm going to be making another batch today. Now that I've gotten so used to homegrown yogurt, I don't think I'll ever go back to only relying on the store-bought. I heard somewhere in a video, because, going through videos, you learn so much. I heard on a recent video that I looked through that you could really only get about 6 or 7 generations out of the parent original generation, the starter. I don't know how true that is, because so far I think I'll be on generation 6 this time. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. So macaroni and cheese is always a very, very good go-to thing. And even like using like meats as like the highlight of something. For example, you could have like an old-fashioned bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. It doesn't have to be only for lunch. You could have it for dinner. I don't know why we put these big things in our head that we have to have everything fancy schmancy, but that's me. I mean, maybe for some they have to have it that way, but I'm perfectly happy with a sandwich that is comprised of all the main things that you need: a bit of protein, a vegetable, or a salad component within the sandwich. And this is where you don't cheap out, in my opinion. Get a good quality bread. If you're going to have the bread, and if you're going to have a few carbs, go for the gold and get the better quality bread. Just saying, just saying. And if you can get it at a great deal, then you stock up. But if you're perfectly happy with just basic bread, or if that's all you can afford at the moment, absolutely nothing wrong with that. And by the way, I admire the people that go out there and make their own breads. And speaking of which, did any of you try that apple bread recipe yesterday, the one that I put on? It just doesn't get easier than that. And I meant to say, and I forgot to mention on that specific video. So, okay, basically it's a very few ingredients, and you're using pancake complete pancake flour, the one with everything in it. You don't need milk, you don't need eggs. Why? Because it's complete, and that saves you some effort, time, money too, and not touching your milk or your eggs, right? Which I really, really love that idea. But you can, speaking of swap outs, instead of making, for example, an apple bread, you certainly can grate up 2 zucchinis in its place and make a zucchini bread that way. You can certainly, of course, swap it out for banana, and you can even make a grated carrot bread, which will taste similar to a carrot cake. So it's so fast, it's so easy, you're using one pan, it's so inexpensive. Let's go back to cheap eats for a minute that involve protein. Deviled eggs. You could have that for dinner or for lunch. And an old trick that I've used, and I've taken it to potluck dinners, is the egg crates that you get from the grocery store where your eggs are in? Well, you sanitize them out, you clean them out. After you make your deviled eggs, you have an easy portable carrier. You put those deviled eggs in nicely. You could decorate the crate. You close the little egg crate, and you have a wonderful portable take along with you, and your deviled eggs won't get mishmashed. Mishmash? Yeah, okay, mishmash. Frankfurters are a great go-to meal. Very, very inexpensive. It shares very well. You can use them interrelated in recipes. I have even tried it in soup. It works great in split pea soup. You don't have to put ham in it. Just put one frankfurter in it. Leave it in. Let it flavor throughout the simmering process of homemade split pea soup. You will receive that wonderful smoky effect. You take the whole frankfurter out. Somebody wins the prize and gets to eat the whole frankfurter. Or if you prefer, you could cut them up into little circles. Just chop them into your soup, and it gives it that smoky taste. There are ways to getting around things, and that's what I'm going to ask you guys to write in the comment section below. How do you get away with saving money when meat or other proteins are not readily available? Okay. Well, listen, it was really great having my first morning cup of coffee with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Why? Because I really do appreciate whose time? Your time. Have a great day and a wonderful, wonderful upcoming weekend. And please enjoy your Mother's Day. After all of us moms should be queen for a day. Have a great day.